Okay, here we go. The Penguin Problem by Abby Klein. We're on chapter 4. Sorry, chapter 5. Ideas, anyone? Hey, guess what? I said that night at dinner. You're going to live with Robbie from now on? Susie said. Ha ha, very funny. No, I'm not moving out. It was worth a try, Susie mumbled under her breath. Susie, said my mom, be nice to your brother. We're learning about penguins at school, I said. And do you want to know something funny? Sure, said my dad. We're eating macaroni tonight, and there's a penguin named the macaroni penguin. Really? Said my mom. Yep. I've never heard of a macaroni penguin, said my mom. I've only heard of emperor penguins. The emperor is the most famous, I said, but there are actually about 17 species of penguins in the world. I never knew that. They all live on the bottom half of the earth. But I thought they lived where the polar bears were, said my mom, and the polar bears live at the top of the earth, in the Arctic. A lot of people think that, I said, but there are no penguins in the Arctic. If polar bears and penguins lived in the same place, then the bears might eat the penguins. How could you eat something so cute, said Susie. Penguins can't fly, but they are really good swimmers. They use their wings like paddles. How do they breathe underwater, asked my mom. They have to hold their breath underwater like humans, and then they have to come up for air. They can usually stay underwater for about 3 minutes before they have to come up. You sure do know a lot about penguins, said my dad. I can tell you more, I said. Did you know that some of the penguins in the world are endangered? I didn't know that penguins were on the endangered species list, said my dad. Well, they are, I said. My class decided to adopt a penguin to help protect it. What a wonderful idea, said my mom. Didn't you do something like that when you were in Mrs. Whooshy's class? My dad asked Susie. Yes, but we didn't adopt a penguin. We adopted a gorilla because we were learning about Africa. Well, I think it's a great idea, said my mom. I wouldn't want to imagine what the world would be like if we didn't have animals. I put some macaroni on my head, and then I jumped out of my chair and started waddling around the kitchen table. Freddie, said my mom, what are you doing? You're supposed to be eating your dinner, not wearing it. I ignored her and waddled over to Susie. Get out of here, weirdo, Susie said, giving me a little shove. I lost my balance and bumped into the kitchen table, spilling my glass of milk. See if you can find the word fin. You might have to hit pause so you have a little bit more time. Oh my goodness, now look what you've done, Freddie, my mom said. What I've done? Susie pushed me into the table. But if you were sitting down like you were supposed to, then this wouldn't have happened, my mom said, running over to the sink to grab a sponge and some paper towels. I glared at Susie and she stuck her tongue out at me. My mom came back and wiped up the milk. Now, Freddie, sit down so I can get the macaroni out of your hair. But I'm a macaroni penguin. Penguin, I said, laughing. Look at this mess, said my mom. It's all stuck in your hair. You're going to have to take a shower tonight. No, I did last night. Too bad. You're not going to school tomorrow with macaroni in your hair. Now sit down until dinner is over. I don't want any more accidents. I sat down. Tomorrow I'm supposed to bring in some ideas for how we can raise money to adopt the penguin. How much does it cost? Asked my dad. About $20. That shouldn't be too hard to raise, said my mom. How about a bake sale? Nah, everybody does bake sales. We're going to vote on the ideas tomorrow, and I bet a bunch of people bring in that idea. I want to think of something different. What about a car wash? My dad suggested. The kids in my class are too small for that, I said. We wouldn't be able to reach the top of the cars. That's probably true, my dad said, chuckling. How about selling raffle tickets? Said my mom. I thought about that, I said, but we don't have a prize to raffle off. Collecting bottles and cans? Said my dad. That's not a bad one, I said. I could maybe suggest that tomorrow. Excuse me, said Susie, but I have to go do my homework. You may be excused, said my mom and dad. Susie cleared her plate and left the room. May I be excused too, I asked. But I thought you wanted to think of some more ideas for tomorrow, said my mom. Right now I have to take a shower, I said as I raced up the stairs. I ran into Susie's room. Get out of my room, she yelled. I'm trying to do my homework. I just need an idea. Go ask Mom and Dad. No, I want you to give me an idea. For what? To raise money for the penguin adoption? I want to know what you did with your class. What's it worth to you? Susie asked, holding up her pinky for a pinky swear. Let's go. I haven't got all night. You get to shower first tonight. Just tonight? It's 3 nights or no deal. 3 nights. Do we have a deal? I really wanted her idea because I just knew it would be a good one. Deal, I said as we locked pinkies. Now tell me your idea. A penny drive, Susie said, smiling. A penny drive? Yep, you can call it Pennies for Penguins. You just ask everybody to bring in their pennies. Most people have a bunch just sitting around in a jar like we do. You'd be surprised how quickly they add up. That's a great idea, I said. Thanks. You're the best sister in the whole world. I know, Susie said, smiling. Now get out of my room so I can finish my homework. Chapter 6, The Vote. The next day at school, we were all excited about our ideas. Did you talk to Susie last night? Robbie asked. Yes, I did, I said, smiling. She gave me a great idea. How about you? Did you talk to your mom? Yep, said Robbie. I think my idea is pretty good. I have the best idea, Chloe interrupted. Everyone's going to want to do mine. No way, said Max. I'm sure your idea is really lame. It is not, Chloe whined. All right, everybody, said Mrs. Whooshy. Come on over to the rug so we can all hear your great ideas. We sat down and Mrs. Whooshy took out a big piece of paper. I'm going to write all of your ideas down on this piece of paper and then we will vote. I want everyone to respect what people say. You are not allowed to make fun of anyone's ideas. But what if the idea is really dumb, said Max. There is no such thing as a dumb idea, said Mrs. Whooshy. If you can't say something nice, then don't say anything at all. Does he ever say anything nice? I whispered to Robbie. He shook his head. Who would like to go first? Asked Mrs. Whooshy. I didn't want to go first because I wanted to save the best for last, so I waited to put my hand up. Of course, Chloe was waving her hand around so hard that I thought it was going to break off. Chloe, said Mrs. Whooshy, since you are not calling out, would you like to go first? Yes, I would, she said as she stood up and walked to the front of the room. You can just tell us from your seat if you'd like, said Mrs. Whooshy. No, I want to come up here, said Chloe. It's such a good idea that I want to see everyone's faces when I say it. Oh boy, here we go, whispered Jessie. Chloe said, clearing her throat. I think we should set up the classroom like a beauty salon, and kids can come here to get their fingernails painted with polish. We can have all kinds of pretty colors to choose from, and they pay us $2 to get their nails done. Is she kidding? Robbie whispered to me. Oh no, she's serious. That's the dumbest idea I ever heard, shouted Max. No boy is going to want to get his nails painted. Max, said Mrs. Whooshy, what did I say about telling other children their ideas are dumb? You said I couldn't do that. That's right, so you need to apologize to Chloe. But, apologize right now or you'll be taking a trip to the timeout chair and you won't get to vote. Max looked at Mrs. Whooshy for a minute, and I guess then he decided that it was too early in the morning for the timeout chair, so he mumbled, I'm sorry. Mrs. Whooshy turned back to Chloe. Thank you for your idea. I will write it on our chart, and you can go back and sit down. Chloe's lip dropped into a pout, and she walked back to sit down. Who would like to go next? Robbie raised his hand. Yes, Robbie? I think we should have a big jar filled with jelly beans, and kids have to pay 25 cents to guess how many jelly beans are in the jar. The person who has the closest guess wins the jar of candy. There are a lot of oohs and ahs from the class. Robbie smiled. You're right, that is a good idea, I said.